Meditation, intimate experiences with the divine through contemplative practices. A common sentient series by Sacred Stories Publishing. The quieter you become, the more you're able to hear. Rumi. A time to choose. We find ourselves right now in the age of great transformation, one of the most consequential moments in human history. These are indeed the times that the great prophets and seers throughout the millennia have spoken about. Mankind has experienced and survived many eras of tremendous change, of course, yet with each turn of the spiral, the permutations become more amplified, as if there will be one final revolution of the cycle that turns it all around, so we can start anew once more. Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to Your Next Normal, The Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. Thank you for joining in. You have so many choices nowadays. I'm remembering back in the day with my grandmother, we used to go riding on her three-wheel bicycle. We only had one channel, and everyone's collective energy was just focused on that one programming. And then there were 3 channels, and then there were 5 channels, and then cable came in, and then there were like 100 channels, and now streaming, online platforms, and now there are thousands. You don't even know what to tap into. So congratulations for your power of discernment. I'm just being funny today. I'm going to share on a topic that's very personal for me. It's connected to inspiration. I was at Peace Village, our learning and retreat center, many years ago. And our director there, Dr. Kala, was talking about how she's observed there are certain relationships where they invest a lot of energy in those individuals, but they've observed that they're not really climbing. They're not being as inspired as they can be. And then she's noticed that there are some relationships that they've hardly really given much time and energy to. And yet they've observed the person thrives. And the question is, what's the mystery behind that? When I was in Italy a few weeks ago, we went to Sorrento, beautiful, beautiful part of Italy. We had a chance of going to the Capri Islands and Amalfi Coast and just being with people and really going deep into the culture of the souls. This was after the Parisian Olympic Gala. I was realizing that as much as you are in an environment that is so beautiful, if you see it every day, you take it for granted. And for those of us who went to visit, we were like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, your country is so beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, I've seen that so much in pictures. This is where that is. Oh, the Capri Islands are, do you understand how beautiful your country is? Well, ma, we see it every day. We don't care for it. And it's true. Who are we that we train our consciousness, or we open up ourselves to remain inspired, even if the world around you is falling apart? When you look at the condition of the world, and you look at where people are going with their thoughts and their words and their behavior, to me it's not that inspirational. When you can observe the energy from people is a little selfish, or it's angry, or it's deceitful, that's just not inspiring vibrations. But then I go inside of myself and I ask, what inspires me? Even if I have nothing around me to inspire me, nobody's motivated, or the country isn't growing, or people are not being kind enough to care for each other's well-being. They're overthinking. They're too much in their heads, that you will walk by a room and see paper on the floor and you'll pass it 10 times and don't pick it up because you're thinking, right? Have you ever had that? You're overthinking and you're in thoughts and it's right there. Just pick it up, just throw it. Even while traveling, I had to take the initiative to really be very clear on helping the organizing committee that put together the Olympic Gala and the Olympic celebrations. There were things that were just falling apart and I just took charge. It happened in Hyderabad too. There was just no organization. Everything was just so all over the place and I just saw that. And it's not my organization, it's not my company, it's not my event. But I belong to the same world. It's my world. These are my people. Even though they belong to another tradition, they're still my people. And I just took charge and saved them from their program collapsing. I did the same thing in Paris. I did it in Hyderabad. I think my ability to stay inspired is because, and I have to keep thinking about this more and more, because sometimes I'm not inspired. Sometimes I can pick up the energy of the external world where nobody wants to do much of anything. And so why should I try? You can pick up that vibration. It's everywhere in the world, isn't it? Think about how a mother feels when she's got 2 teenage boys. Nobody wants to clean the room. Nobody wants to do laundry. Nobody wants to do the dishes. And when she comes in from a long day of work, the boys are sitting on the couch playing games. The husband is like, oh yeah, this is great, and he's having a good time. And nobody's thinking about helping her. Imagine the anxiety or the frustration that she can sometimes feel, that it's just all on me. And then she loses the better of herself because on one level she doesn't mind doing it. But on another level, sometimes she just wants to see the family understands and cares enough to be a part of the journey with her, to help with a dish, to just pick up the broom and sweep the floor without her having to ask her sons to do it, to go and mow the lawn. You know, it's like inspiration for me comes from, I deeply know that whatever I do is for me, it's my own fortune. I remain inspired because I have a responsibility to God's task. And even if sometimes I don't feel inspired, the fact that I have that responsibility to God's task, I have to get going. Like the mother with the 2 sons. She knows she has to be responsible to keep the house going. And sometimes inside she might be falling apart and dwindling. Can somebody help me? Because she needs inspiration. But because she's focused on her responsibility, she does it. And I think for those of us who might be in a world, in a country, in a job, in a home, where the people in the home are not really thinking about your well-being. They've kind of taken your abilities for granted. They will see you, oh, you're capable, you can do it, and they'll watch you do everything and not have the iota of a thought, maybe mom needs some help. It's the Raksha Bandhan time and I was tying Rakhi on the wrist of a man who I've known for many years. He ran a few hotels and then made a few investments, eventually sold a hotel and then realized that he still needs to kind of work to really financially feel capable, and his wife is doing work as a cashier, and he's managing a hotel. And as I was tying the Rakhi on his wrist, his right wrist, and I was looking into his soul, and I said, nobody understands how you've continued to try to push, to keep inspiring everyone. And you could see his tears, and he was like, yes, I'm the one that has to keep motivating everyone. It becomes heavy, but he doesn't complain. But it was a burden. He carries the burden of, can somebody also help to motivate me? And maybe he's motivated because he has people to motivate around him who don't stay motivated for long. They only stay motivated when he tells them, give me some help. But how do you stay inspired around people who don't seem to be that inspired about the value of life? And I've just observed that people overthink, and they think on things they don't need to be thinking. It takes so much energy from them. They don't have any energy to be motivated or inspired. They're so tired, they're exhausted. I was in Spain, and we were moving a lot in Europe the last 2 weeks. And I was sat on the stage to conduct the morning class, and I was so tired. And as I sat there, I was talking to myself, okay, God, I just need something to awaken me. And as I was just gazing and looking at the students in the classroom, there was an old lady in the corner with a young man. And as my gaze fell on those two souls, there was a love that entered me, and I could feel it like, oh, and I felt that love. It entered me, and it gave me like a shot, a boost. I think they have these drinks called Energy Boost or something. These shot boosters, or what are these kids are doing nowadays. And I could feel it like the love gave me energy. And at that moment I realized the root of inspiration is love. You want to remain inspired. Keep tapping into an area within you where there's love, or where you can see love outside of you to give you that boost. If your battery of your car is dead, it needs a jump start. It's okay to turn to other souls for a jump start, but it's not okay to always turn to souls for a jump start. And sometimes people who aren't really inspired, if there's no one around them that they value anymore, because those who live by the Ganges don't appreciate it as much as those who visit the Ganges. When they no longer are inspired by the people they live with or work with, it's a decline of that institution. It's a decline of that company. It's a decline of those people. Why were countries invaded? It's because the citizens began to lose their own interior values. It attracted that invasion. I know that's very deep and hard for you to imagine. But in the same way, if I don't keep my energy up, then the five vices will take me over. And that is something that is all too clear for me. And I go through phases, and you will go through your phases, where you just don't feel like you can do it anymore in here. Maintain your fundamentals. Do what you still need to do. Do your service, do your sessions, go to work, do what you've got to do to keep up. But then keep your awareness that I have to do a little more here. I have to add a little more to my spirit, or is it just going to keep going down? Leave a person by themselves. Very rare they'll invent and come up with something dynamic. More than likely, because there's so many distractions in the world, they'll just get worse. Energy will waste. When you look at their faces, there's no more glow. And you can see that. It's like a parent that looks at her teenager that goes through puberty. They might not tell you what's going on, but when you look at your child at puberty and 13, 14, 15, you're like, God, he's changed. What happened to that purity, that glow I used to see? And you don't know what they're doing because they're living in the same house with you. But you can't watch them 24/7. It's not my duty. It's not a parent's duty. They're at home, they're safe. But there's no energy in the person. And it continues and it keeps going, and you're waiting for the person to do a kickback, to come back with energy of purity, and you can't see it. And you're like, what's going on with that person's thinking and choices? What are they doing? A parent will wonder to their child, what are they doing? It's just gone, that light. I've experienced my own light where I don't have it in me. But I will talk about it. I call my friends. I tell them what's happening. I'll tell my family that I live with, I'm not doing so good. Just need your support. And everybody just, sure, Sister Jenna. Your light is everything. That's where you get your inspiration from. Securing the purity and the peace in you, the light in you. Your inspiration comes from your purity. Your courage and your determination, your creativity is rooted in your purity, your spirit of innocence. And when you're around people who don't have that interest, it is a challenge. But they are not responsible for your stage. But you know what fascinates me? Is even if you're trying to climb up to get to the peak of the mountain, and there are 10 people underneath going, I can't go, just come here. And you look back and there's 10 people back there and there's nobody up top, just you. You can just say, okay, I'm coming. Because why are you going to be alone up there by yourself? But then that person feels, but that's not me, that's not my potential. Maybe I'm the one that's supposed to see the view from the top of the mountain, to come back and tell everyone how beautiful it is, that maybe I can inspire them up. I don't know, I'm just saying these things to you to give it some thought. How do you stay inspired around people who are not inspired? They're like those people who come to jobs and they just go to get a paycheck, but they're not invested in the company's growth. They're not adding to the company. They're just there to get a paycheck. You know those employees and jobs. You've worked with them before. And the ones who are passionate and ready to go, they look at them like, what's wrong with her? Chill out, man. And it confuses you sometimes. You're like, am I abnormal? And in the teachings of the Brahma Kumaris, we've been informed about the importance of this time at the confluence age. It is this very sensitive age between the end of the Iron Age and the beginning of a Golden Age. And in the teachings, Baba's teaching us to say this time period is your time to invest and accumulate as much as you can for the next cycle to come. And I don't know why that has sunk in me so deeply. It's like every second counts. I'm my greatest critic when I don't use my time wisely, because I know the consequence of that globally. We are dealing with the consequence of people's irresponsibility to themselves and to their environment. Natural calamities, wars, famine, greed, fear, violence, insecurities. If I don't keep myself inspired, and to keep seeing the top of the mountain instead of all the people that are pulling me down. The people who are not seeing the top of the mountain, who don't care about the sweetness of the experience of the top of the mountain. You just have to keep yourself focused and keep going. Even if you end up there alone, there's a reason why there's one king, one queen in a kingdom. There's a reason why there's one president and one prime minister of a country. There must be something in the soul. But there's nothing more intoxicating than to have a team and a group or a family of people who are all inspired. And how do you do that? Maybe you just have to keep going. And maybe somebody will catch the thought. Or maybe you can tell someone, come on with me, let's try this. Maybe. But don't turn back. Don't look at the ones who are uninspired. They will win over you. And I know there are a lot of them. And maybe only one or two of you. But keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes in the light. Keep your eyes towards God. God needs you. God needs to work His light through you so you can inspire those that might be behind you. We'll just hold a minute of silence. No talking, no speaking. Just take a deep breath inwards. And I'm just going to raise one question and just go into your meditation for that. And the question is, do I inspire myself? And do I inspire others? And just sit in that awareness. Good question to keep asking the self today, no? Santosh, is chat going to support a little bit of what I've shared today? What would chat say? How to stay inspired when others aren't around you? Focus on your why. Remind yourself of the reason behind your goals and passion. Create a positive environment. That's so nice. Limit negative influences. So how negative influences, they're not inspirations to you. Seek out inspiring content, inspirational content. Very true. Set small and achievable goals on a daily basis. Practice gratitude. Stay connected with like-minded people. Don't stay alone. Don't stay in your own head all the time. Engage with people. Call people. Talk to people. Practice self-care. Visualize your successes and be the inspiration. Sometimes by staying inspired, you can become a source of motivation for others. So lead by example and let your passion be contagious. Beautiful, huh? Let's go to our beautiful Sister Gita effect and hear what she has to offer us for some words of wisdom.
An angel whispered in my ear words of wisdom I had longed to hear. For years, many questions plagued my mind. I searched for answers but did not find. Most of my questions began with why, the awful word that made the heart cry. So I said to the heavens, I want to know. Please just tell me so I won't feel low. In that moment, the angel came, a blaze of light without a name. Hello, sweet child. Feel free to ask. To answer you is my sole task. In her presence came a burst of hope. I felt relief from the words she spoke. But what to ask? Where shall I start? With the questions in my heart and in my head, or the ache in my heart? She smiled and gave me a little wink. Why not start with the way you think? What you think determines how you feel. If your mind's at peace, your heart will heal. Have a pensive day.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sister Gita. The Avyak signal, which are our inspiring thoughts. It is today when someone has another person's hand over him. He's fearless and powerful and becomes ready to carry out any difficult task. In the same way, always experience on yourself the hand of God's wisdom, and you will never be afraid of any difficult situation or any obstacle of Maya. With the help and courage of the hand of blessings or of guidance, you will experience everything to be easy. That's simple. If I feel I've got God's hand of blessings over me, everything's going to be easy for me. I'm not going to have any problems at all. All right, so good morning to everyone out there. Hey, Christine, how are you? Hi, Dr. Kaisinger. Barbara, good morning. Joanne, Gigi, Kushali, Dinesh, Shobha, Rashmi. Hi, Beth, Lee, Jackie, Girija, Kunchan. Welcome. My first time seeing you on. Hey, Jackie Woodside. Nasira, salam alaikum. Lilawati and Indu. Very nice to have you all on board. So I hope that whatever I shared today had made some sense. I could go much deeper and longer in it, but I don't have enough time. But be your own inspiration and maybe communicate with your family, with your staff. You know, even if they leave you alone and they think you're capable and you're the one that's able to do anything, just from your own heart, just say, I might be capable, but it doesn't mean I don't need your cooperation. If the two of us or the three of us do it together, it's easy. It could be you see the deck is a mess, you just sweep it up. You see something is on the ground, you just pick it up. You don't wait for somebody else to do it because they're supposed to do it. You saw it. You're in a company and the company has to thrive. And you can see the person is just not focusing on the assignment. You go, you need some help? Can I help you with that? Tell me. And then always one person takes on more than they can manage and everything else is a drainage. In certain countries, over 40-something% of the people are on welfare. It's draining the nation. What are they doing with their lives? And so let us break that math and think about if 10 people are working on the project and 10 people put their all into it. Wow, the world's going to change. Yes, you have to stay inspired. Keep in mind what your goals are, what your vision is. Try not to complain in your mind too much about the people who are just draining your energy. You have your own vices in your head draining your energy. And then you've got people around you in their vices and they're not doing anything and they're draining your energy. You've got to tap into God's power to keep yourself going. If you don't tap into God's energy, you won't have anything to give anyone. Thank you so much for joining us on our next normal. It's my pure wish that we do better for ourselves, because I want that for me too. I want to be better for me. It's just what I'm supposed to do. It's what I'm supposed to be. A better example, a better version for me. And maybe it contributes to the world. Maybe it makes the world a better place. Great. But I first have to do it for me. So, in order to reduce your attachment, what do? Put it in the chat. Practice loving everyone the same. Take care, and thank you so much for joining us today. All the best.
Have you been feeling overwhelmed, stressed, out of balance lately? Do you crave for a pocket of peace and tranquility in your busy life, but you struggle to find the time or space? Then we have the perfect solution for you. Meditation on Wheels. It's an RV sanctuary traveling in the metropolitan Washington D.C. area, offering transformative meditation experiences. It's a movable oasis of calm at your doorstep. Book us today to come to your business, school, government space, or event. Why? We bring the calm to you. meditationonwheels.com